you read my title, you already know what this video is about. I'm going to tell y'all how I ended up having this baby in the ambulance. He's only 6 months, so this happened 6 months ago, you guys. So I'm going to start with the beginning, leading up until how I had him in the ambulance. So first of all, how it all started was I was having contractions that day. I think it was Friday. No, it could have been Thursday. I think it was that. It could have been that Thursday falling on that Friday. I was having contractions, and yeah, it was that Friday. I was having contractions, and I went to the doctor because I was like, now mind you, I live an hour away from the doctor, so I went to the doctor. I went to the ER, and they took me up to the thing, and I was 4 centimeters dilated, and I just kept having pains. But they was just saying like, oh, we gonna wait 2 hours and see what's going on. And I kept having contractions off and on, but it was spreading apart or whatever. So he was like, well, we kept you here for a few hours, but we're gonna let you go home. And if anything changed, because he wanted me to be 38 weeks. So since I was 37, I had one more day, and I would have been 38 on that Saturday. And he said they was full. They had a lot of people there that had to go in labor, and people they had to induce. So, or they had scheduled surgeries to have their baby. So they didn't really have room unless the baby was gonna come out like the same day right then and there. So they said that he said, I'm gonna send you home, but if anything changed, if you had any contractions, feel free to come back if it gets worse. Mind you, I live about an hour away, so I went back home, and I want to say it was 12 o'clock, almost 1 a.m. And when I came home, I was still having contractions. I was still having pain. So I was having pains when I still came back home. But I guess it picked up more, and I was doing like the pregnancy positions on YouTube that helps you when you're having contractions, that it helps you with the pain and not feel it too bad. So I was doing that, and I say it was around 1 a.m. and I want to say around 1 something, and I started it was just getting worse. It wasn't getting no better. So I was telling my husband, like, I think I need to go. It's not getting no better. So we was like 1 a.m. leaving out the house. And so we went in the car. And mind you, by the time I got in the car, it just was picking up. And I was just having so much intense pain. And I done gave labor 5 times. So I knew that it was real. Like, okay, it's getting down to it. So we in the car, and mind you, we live an hour away, so I'm done take off my pants. I have the window was down, and I just having contractions. Imagine just having contractions, you in the car with your legs spread all open. Every time I had a contraction, I was holding on to the seat rest thing. I was just screaming, oh, hey. I was just screaming and hollering. And my husband had to blast the air all the way up, so it was mad cold, but I felt super hot. So he was just cold in there, and I was just mad hot. And I was just screaming and just practicing on my breathing. And I think we got to 20 minutes away, and we was at the train track. The train was coming. The train track had to come, and I was like, call the police. I'm not gonna make it. And we had 20 more minutes there to get there. And he was like, you ain't gonna make it, baby, we gonna get there. And I said, no, call the police. So he called the police on the phone, but mind you, it was already 2 police officers parked on the side of the road, near the train track. So they weren't too far from there. So my husband, he had the police on the phone, and then he told him to go over to the other police that was parked on the side. So he went there and said, my wife is in labor. She's about to have a baby. So mind you, y'all, when you're in pain, it's like, you don't care. You just don't care. Like, you don't care how you look. You just don't care. So I have my legs wide open, and these men are just looking all in my crotch. It's wide open, y'all. It's just wide open. And I'm just like screaming and like I'm turning my head, so I don't even know what they look like. If I was to see them in the store now, I wouldn't have no clue who they were, what they look like. I just wouldn't have a clue, because I said I'm not gonna look at them knowing that I looked the mess up from the floor up. Like, it was wow. It was wow. And so they had pulled some paper out their car, and they were just holding it up under me while I had my legs open and the car door was open, and I was turned to the side, and I was just kept having intense contractions, and they was panicking a little bit. They was like, man, the ambulance need to hurry up, because what's the word he said? I forgot the word he said I was doing, because the baby looked like it was about to come. No, because he said she crowning, or the baby crowning, or something like that. And so the ambulance finally came. So I ain't been in the ambulance for like, I want to say about 5 minutes. I ain't been there for 5 minutes. And mind you, I'm 20 minutes away from the hospital. So I'm not even in there for 5 minutes. And I started having contractions, and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? She was just annoying. Are you okay? And the other guy, he was just sitting there not doing nothing. She's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was just kind of tuning her out, because I didn't want to give her a nasty attitude, because when you're annoyed and then you're in labor, ooh. But I just was annoying her, and I was just breathing in and out, and the contractions was every minute or every 2 minutes. It was bad. So she was like, oh no, your water didn't broke, because mind you, all the labors I had, my water never broke. They always had to break my water. So she said, your water didn't broke, so you're just probably having contractions. You're not gonna have the baby, da da da. But she was new, so I understand she didn't know. So, back up. You okay? It's okay. Just pick it up, okay? So she didn't really have a clue. So she was like, so I would say after a while, it got stronger. And I was like, no, this baby is coming. And then I just started pushing. I guess she started to see his head. And mind you, my water didn't break until he was starting to come out. Like, when I was literally pushing him out, that's when my water started breaking. And she's like, no, keep going, I see him. And so I just kept pushing and pushing. And he was out within, I want to say 2 minutes after that. After I started pushing, it didn't took that long. I didn't push too long to get him out. And then he was, he came out, and she put him in a thing, and she gave him to me. And she was just, after that, joy overcame it. She was like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I was losing a lot of blood, of course. But she's like, I don't know why you're bleeding a lot. What to say. Wait, hold on. I'll see you in a minute. She's like, I don't know why you're bleeding a lot, but are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, you good? Like, I was like, I'm good. Even though I was bleeding, I felt better because he was out. Hold on, baby, hold on. I'll tell you in a minute. But I felt better because he was out. I was like, yeah, I'm good now that he out. And so after that, we was with Joy. It was like, she was like, oh, this was my first day. I said, oh, what I said to her, I was like, well, this the first baby I had that came fast. Like, he came pretty fast. I didn't have to wait in the hospital. I didn't have to, hold on, Naomi. I didn't have to be in there that long. I was like, this the first baby that came out so easily. Like, I didn't have to be stitching up the cords and needles. So after that, after I came off of that adrenaline of pain and craziness, I realized everything was out except for I had a shirt on. I had blood all on my socks. I was like, then we made it to the hospital, and when we went there, it was a bunch of nurses in the hallway. It was a bunch of them. And my thing was all exposed. I'm like, dang, the least you could do was cover me up. Because at first I didn't care, but after I done pushed them out, I came back to reality. And I was like, all my stuff is out. But then I got to the hospital, and a doctor see me, and we both bust out laughing. I said, see, I told you I was coming back. He's like, I knew you probably would have had that baby. You would have been back. Yeah, I said, you should have just kept, what twins? I was like, you should have just kept me. What? I was like, well, I know. But I was like, well, you should have just kept me. What? Okay, y'all. Well, Say hey. Well, okay, y'all. I'm about to go because he's starting to fuss. So I gotta tend to my taunts. Just like what? I just fed him, so he might be sleepy. Oh, he just want mommy attention. What? Woo! 1, 2, what? All right, bye. See y'all next video. Bye. Oh no.